Slab back from CGC. This is the slab that got it all started for me. What's up, everybody? I am Brad. Welcome to Sports Magazine Collector. I have one slab to reveal to you today with a little CGC reveal, and we're going to talk about it. I've got a great story to go along with this. Even though it's only one slab, it's a pretty significant one for me. So one of my recent unboxing videos was the very first submission that I'd ever sent in last April of 2022, and I talked about in that video how I sent five slabs in that order, or 5 magazines in that order, but I only got 4 back, and that was because 4 of those were modern issues from 1975 and later, and one of them was a vintage issue from before 1975. And when you do that, even though CGC will allow you to put them in the same cart, the same order, they are actually going to split that into 2 separate submissions and ship them to you separately. So that's what we have here. This is my one vintage magazine that I sent together with my very first ever submission. And even more significantly than that, this is the very first magazine that led me down the rabbit hole of really, getting into this hobby and learning about it and collecting more sports magazines. So let me just reveal to you what it is first, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the story. Okay, so this slab here is from 1960, and it is Sport Magazine. It's a 3.0, pretty beat up. We've got Jackie Robinson, we've got Willie Mays, we've got Wilt Chamberlain, and we have Althea Gibson. Okay, so I projected this at a 3.0, and I got a 3.0. Pretty impressive for my first ever projection to have nailed it on the head. But this is what happened. And let me also say there have been 5 of these graded. There have been 5 copies of this issue of Sport Magazine graded. You've got a 9.4, 2 7.5s, a 5.0, and now this 3.0. So here's what happened. I was obsessed with sports cards. Okay, started collecting sports cards when I was like 7 years old. Was really into it as a kid. Would pick up some packs here and there in high school, and then got big into it again during the pandemic, just like many others. And so I was almost like in a rut. I was in what I would call a rut, just like scrolling eBay every day, looking for just like cool card pickups. And somehow, I don't know what my search was, but I stumbled upon this magazine, 1960, and this is also what's really interesting about this special issue, The Negro in American Sport. So when I saw this and immediately saw, wow, Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, Wilt Chamberlain, didn't know who Althea Gibson was yet. I'll talk about her in a second. And I saw the headline, The Negro in American Sport. My thought was, wow, that seems to me like kind of a significant magazine. That looks really historical. That's got 3 of the, I don't know, most impactful and successful athletes of all time. Talking about Jackie, Willie, and Wilt. Once again, I didn't know who Althea was at the time, but she's significant as well. And then the fact that it was, kind of like race related, going back to 1960. And like when I saw this and when I picked this up, it was right in the midst of a lot of, there's been a lot of I don't know, civil rights movement stuff, race-related incidents over the past few years. I don't remember which specific incident was fresh when I bought this. I don't think this was too far after the George Floyd incident. And there's just been a lot of discussion about that. And so when I saw this, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool that way back in 1960, before the Civil Rights Act, we've got a major publication, Sport Magazine, which I didn't even know much about at the time when I bought this. and we've got these 4 big time black athletes on the cover. And in my head, I was once again, I was on a sports card hunt. I was like, that seems to me like it could have a little bit of value. Okay, so I bought it. I mean, it was maybe $10, and it basically led me into, like I said, my rabbit hole of research about this hobby. Um, because I started thinking like, wow, I wonder like, are are there other magazines that could be valuable? I have a huge stack of Sports Illustrated magazines. I had very like vaguely been aware that grading magazines was a thing just from venturing into sports cards so much. I knew that you could grade sports magazines, but I didn't even know what CGC was, didn't know anything about really graded comics. I just knew I had seen a few graded magazines here and there and that it was something that you could do. So I started researching about it. I started reading everything I could find. I absolutely binged um, James Kehoe's YouTube videos. I binged every single article written by John Wiley. He's got a good blog out there. Um, Looked through all the CGC stuff, watched tons of videos on comics and message boards and all kinds of stuff, everything I could find. And it was really all started by stumbling upon this and thinking that this had some historical significance and wondering if it had potential value and just thinking that it was a cool cover. And so yeah, that's really what led me down the chase. And so this I sent this in, like I said, this was part of my first submission with 5 magazines. The other 4 I sent in with this were all my own 4 personal copies that I already had in my stack of subscriptions. And so that was one of the first steps I took after finding this was I went through all of my stacks and stacks and pulled out some that I thought might be significant. I think I pulled out 3 Tom Brady's and then the Mike Trout first cover. And then just from there it snowballed and probably this was, I mean, this may have been like January of 2022, and then I think by May I had binged so much and researched and kind of taught myself that I think I started my YouTube channel in May of last year. Which, wow, actually, right now it's May of 2023. My channel may have been around for a year. At least that's when I'm recording this video. I know that this video is going to get posted a little bit later this summer because I'm spacing out all my reveals. But anyway, I think that's pretty cool. And so this issue definitely doesn't have any value. I mean, at least I don't think it could. If I threw it up on eBay, maybe $50, maybe 100, probably not even that much. But to me, it's just this is a personally significant magazine, and I do love the historic. I love the history behind this cover. So Althea Gibson, let me speak on her because we all know about Willie Mays and Jackie Robinson and Wilt Chamberlain. Althea Gibson was a tennis player. She was the first Black woman to win a tennis major. She won the French Open, I believe, in 1956, and then she won a couple Wimbledons, a couple U.S. Opens, and I think an Australian Open as well. So she was she was basically like the Jackie Robinson of women's tennis. So really cool cover. Love kind of the connection that I feel to this magazine and how look at me now. I mean, look over my shoulder. I've got hundreds and hundreds of magazines. I'm doing this YouTube channel just because this is something now that I'm, pretty passionate about, have a great interest in, and hopefully some of you feel that same way. So all thanks to this cover right here, this Sport magazine issue from 1960. So that's all we got today. Make sure you tune in for the next unboxing videos. We got some great ones coming up. Always appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and until the next video, see you next time.